Schmecked, EMS One News and Insider Analysis. Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester from the Overrun. Danny, how are we doing today?
Good. Doing great. How about you?
Not too bad. So today we're going to talk about this NEMSAC thing that happened about a week ago now as we're recording this. So the National EMS Advisory Council, the members of the board have been terminated. They were all essentially summarily dismissed, and we have this the letter and all the story here.
Right.
So before we get too far into this, Dan, let's go ahead and talk about what NEMSAC is, and then maybe more importantly, what it isn't. And then let's go ahead and talk about how this might actually have an effect on EMS.
Yeah, exactly. Because there's a lot of people, I'm sure, that are watching this that are going, I've never even heard of this. What's going on?
Yeah, no, I think that's right. I think that people may not be aware of it. I'm sure there's plenty of times that people have heard about NEMSAC for the first time in the past week or so. So let's talk about what NEMSAC actually is. NEMSAC was established in 2007. It's made of 25 EMS professionals and consumer representatives. And essentially, Dan, their entire goal, their entire purpose is to guide EMS care and EMS treatment that's out in the field, which is something it feels like we've been crowing about for a long time, right? We need to have some sort of national organization that speaks at a federal level. And here we have that. So what we want to talk about here is the first thing is that NEMSAC still exists, right? That's kind of the first big point after this.
Yeah, the organization was never disbanded, just all the members were removed, and the idea is they're going to get more members eventually.
Right. So essentially, this organization has existed. The administration decided to disband the entire board to essentially replace all the new board members. So without diving too much into the politics of it, because surely plenty of other people have done that, let's talk about the practical applications of this. So resetting a board isn't necessarily a bad thing. The first question I think we have to talk about is how effective NEMSAC has been for EMS and what kind of progress they've actually shown. So this is an organization that has a really good idea, has a really good message where they're trying to grow EMS at a federal level. Certainly something that we're looking for, but it's not necessarily covering everything that we'd like it to cover.
No, not at all. And here's the problem. We have NEMSAC and it's an advisory committee, but it has no teeth. There's nothing that mandates that anybody nationwide has to take their recommendations in. Also, I kind of looked at the article and some of the things that they were discussing, I'm like, really? Like, they're bringing NASA physicians in to discuss EMS in space. Okay, but really, are we there yet? And yes, I get that the space program and DARPA brings in a lot of tech and a lot of things that are advances in science. We benefit from that. No argument there. But I don't see that NEMSAC has ever come out on the staffing crisis in EMS. I don't see that they've come out for provider mental health and established, hey, here's a model standard. They don't even talk about social media. And, that's a huge issue in EMS right now. I don't know. I'm really torn. I want us to have a national voice. I think there should be national minimum standards that should be adhered to. Except instead of the patchwork state by state, sometimes county by county thing we have going on. I don't know if this really, it's only been in existence since 2007. I don't know that it's done a lot to really truly affect how we practice in the field or how to make the job better or more efficient.
No, I think that's right. And, we can certainly spend hours talking about different ways that the current administration could change things for the positive. But we definitely want to try and have kind of a forward-looking bent to this. So what I like about this is the opportunity, right? Where if we're going to look positively towards something, this is a chance to see what NEMSAC has been working on, to get different people involved, right? And they reset the board every 2 years anyway. So there's always going to be fresh blood. But maybe this resets things and helps move things forward a little bit. I agree with you. I think it's important to work with technology. I'm really excited about the idea of having an astronaut flight paramedic program. I think that would be very fun. I didn't even know that there. I didn't know that there were EMS considerations in space. So that's a cool thing. And you never know where research or science will take you. So I'm on board with all of that. And I can see, it's very easy to say like NASA and EMS in space, how silly, but you never know where those things are going to lead for innovation or for discovery. So I'm all for that. That said, our cardiac arrest survivability rate is less than 15% across the nation.
Oh, and it's been
So
that way for 40 years.
forever. So it feels like, at least, right, to be as diplomatic as we can be, it feels like there's maybe other things that we could be working on. Not to take away from the work they've done, but maybe this new board comes in, they see the data that's out there. All right, if we're going to talk about improving things, improving efficiency, all that kind of thing, maybe this is what happens. I'm not holding out hope that that's what happens for it, but at least we have this opportunity and we can maybe embrace it, move forward, and actually try and drive EMS forward at a federal level.
Yeah, that's a good point, Ed. And, I know, look, I don't want to get into politics because politics is just so toxic right now.
Yeah.
I do want to make one point, and I'm not going to get up here and pontificate one side or the other. I will say that from studying politics and current events, this administration tends to be less guarded when it comes to dealing with things that they feel just kind of have the status quo, that just do what they do because they do it. This administration has a pragmatic streak in it, and I hope that pragmatism would extend to the NEMSAC board, because I'd like to see pragmatists in there to take a realistic look at EMS, how we can get it better, what we need to do as a nation to advance EMS and pre-hospital care. And yeah, I know, listen, everybody picks their side, but this may not be as bad as you think. Of course, it could be worse than you thought. Time
Right,
will tell.
And I think that's kind of everything, right? And so, like, we're trying not to take the same fatalistic view that we can, or in other places where,
Right.
And it's very easy to look at something getting blown up and say, you know what, this is bad. But there is an opportunity here, and I think that's really the most important thing, where maybe
the rain cloud has been really dark over this for the last week.
Right.
I don't know how dark it really is. And, sometimes it's got to rain for the flowers to come out. It is what it is.
Right. And you could add whatever platitude, every cloud has a silver lining, all that kind of stuff. So we're hoping that we actually have those positive outcomes for this. But let us know what you guys think. Read the story on EMS One. Check out all of our stuff at overrunems.com and on YouTube. And for the Overrun EMS One news and insider analysis, Ed Bauter and Dan Schwester, we will talk to you all next time.
Be careful, everybody.